Hey friends, Mike Adams here with Mike in Retirement. Welcome to my channel. I want to talk a little bit in this video about anxiety, about sleepless nights. This time of the year is a little stressful for me. I don't mean coming into the holidays. I don't mean the fall season. I don't mean October, November. I love this time of year in terms of that. But what I'm talking about is my every six-month scans and tests for cancer. As you may know, if you've watched my previous videos, I had bladder cancer and was treated for it most of 2024. January 3rd of 2025, 2025, this year, was my last chemo and radiation. So it's been recovery since then. Well, every 6 months or so, I have to still go in and I have to get tested, I have to get scans, I have to get a CT scan, I have to get an MRI, I have to have a cystoscopy. I'll let you look that up if you don't know what it is. Hint, it's not fun. And, I have appointments with both my oncologist, my radiation oncologist, and I don't know what to call the other guy. Chemo oncologist, maybe? I don't know. They're both great, excellent doctors. They've taken very good care of me. But this time of year, as this kind of starts to creep up, maybe 2 weeks before they're scheduled, I start feeling really anxious because it's something I can't control. I mean, this is real life. If the tests come back showing that, their cancer's back or that there's, some residual thing going on, that causes me a lot of anxiety, to be honest with you. My thoughts are preoccupied with it. And that's how my mind works. Maybe yours is that way too. Let me know in the comments if it is. I always go to the worst case scenario. I start thinking about things that haven't happened. Do you? I certainly do. I start thinking about things that might happen. And I start reacting to those. And I start playing out in my head and my brain what I'm going to do based on if the tests come back positive. But that isn't reality. I hadn't even been tested yet. So that's just where my mind goes. And then that results in some anxiety, anxious thoughts. My mind is preoccupied with that. It's always in the back of my mind what I would do if a cancer returns. But when these tests come up every 6 months, what's in the back of my mind moves to the front of my mind, if that makes sense. And it preoccupies my thoughts. It's always there. It's looming. It's always there. And that results in sleepless nights. That results in me thinking of scenarios, worst case scenarios that haven't even happened. But that's the way I'm wired, I guess. And that's what happens every 6 months or so when I have to go in for these tests. Well, here's the good news. I had my CT scan and my MRI just a little while ago, not today, about 2 weeks ago, I guess now. And I hadn't heard anything about the results. Sorry, I'm holding my phone, and once in a while it kind of moves a little bit. But I hadn't heard anything about the results. They don't tell you until you have an appointment with the doctors. And that doesn't happen until November 2nd or 3rd. I don't remember which, one of those 2 days. I see both my oncologists. So I had both of those scans done. They were both done in the same day, which was kind of nice. But then, you don't hear anything. And so you start to wonder, at least I start to wonder, is everything okay? What if it's not okay? What if I have cancer again? What if it's back? What if? And I start playing out these scenarios. Well, if it comes back, do I want to do chemo again and radiation? And I'm thinking, no, I don't want to do that again. Maybe I have things removed, because that's an option. Have surgery. And my mind is playing through all of these scenarios. And then about 2 days ago, I had my 6-month cystoscopy. The last one was in April, and I had another one just a couple of days ago. And, I'm really feeling anxious going into that because instantaneously. You see it on a screen. It's on a TV screen. I wish they served popcorn or something, make it a little bit more bearable. But you see your insides on the TV screen, and that's instantaneous, because as soon as that, sorry, I'm kind of losing my grip here, literally and figuratively. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, you see it right there. It's real time, and you know immediately if there's a problem. Well, guess what? No problem. No sign of cancer, no sign of tumors, no sign of anything. Everything looked healthy. And then it's just as an extra bonus, while I was there, the urologist that I've been seeing, who is a great doctor as well, when I was leaving, he brought in the paper results of my scans, of my CT and my MRI. He kind of snuck those into me and said, here's some good news. He actually said, here's some more good news. And those were clear. No sign of cancer in my lymph nodes, no sign of any spreading of anything. Everything came back normal. And wow, what a relief. I cannot tell you how relieved I was. And my wife too, because, she's going through this with me. She's right there in the room with me. And she's hearing the same thing that I'm hearing as I'm hearing it. And we both it was like a collective sigh of relief. Wow. And just like that, the anxiety, drains. It goes away. And I'm sure it'll come back probably in about 5.5 months, just before the next round of scans and tests. I'm sure it'll come back. But wow, what a relief. What just an instant relief that was. And all of a sudden I'm sleeping at night again, because the anxiety, at least that part of the anxiety, is gone. And I know that, I'm healthy. Yeah, I feel good. I really do feel good. And so I'm thankful for all of that. I'm thankful for all that means. And I know that, like I said, in about 5 months, I'm probably going to be going through the same thing again, and, feeling the same kind of anxiety and anxious moments. And I'll just kind of expect those. Maybe I'll do another video then. Maybe I'll do one in the middle of the night when I'm wide awake and I'm kind of freaking out. But how about you? Is that how anxiety works for you? When you have anxious moments, does your mind go to, kind of the worst possible scenario like mine does? And the worst possible thing that could happen, and you start to process that and work through that and think, well, if this happens, I'm going to do this. If it's this, I'm going to do this. Only to come to find out that it was all in your head. It was all sort of make-believe, make-up. And, that's kind of how I am. That's how I'm wired. So I just wanted to make this short video here and just talk about that a little bit, because again, it's therapeutic for me. And I hope that you're not wired the same, but if you are, give me a comment below. And hey, if you like this video, if you like my channel, please subscribe if you're so inclined, and hit that notification bell if you're so inclined, and feel free to share this video. I will let you go, and until next time, y'all take care.